Yo, yo, we live. Good morning, good Saturday morning to all the people joining in. Uh, Bear with me, we're going to get started here in just a second. Let me get logged in over here so I can see comments and all this good stuff like that. We're going to have some fun on today. Just hanging out, doing stuff. Let me know in the comments. Make sure that my audio is good, that you can hear me. Those people that are just joining in now, let me know if you can hear this. Um, Let me know if you can hear my audio uh, from Studio One. Here, give me a second. Let me know if you can hear that. Just let me know down in the comments if you can hear drums. I'm not talking about faint drums. I'm talking about the full-on drums playing out and me talking on top of it. Let me know how that sounds and feels while I'm doing that. And yeah, let me know if I'm good. Yep. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Yep. I'm gonna help you guys today. I'm gonna help you guys. Let me also drop something in here too. That's gonna also really help you guys. Get and I'm about to hop over. I'm streaming on YouTube as well. So we're gonna have fun today. Drumware. Gotta put this in here. Just give me a second. We're gonna have some fun. But do me a favor also down in the chat and let me know. Uh, Let me know where you guys are watching from, and also do me a favor and just share this. I just might give away a copy of Yosh Drum Warehouse today to somebody that shares this video. How about that? Let's do that. I'll give away a copy of Yosh Drum Warehouse to somebody who shares this video. How about that? Let's do that. Tampa, Florida is in the house. All right, I just need to pull up YouTube here so I can make sure that I'm seeing. There we go. I just need to be able to see comments on both platforms here. Cool. I think we solid. Yeah, we solid. Y'all looking at the back of my head. All right. Crystal clear. Jamaica is in the house. Fort Wayne, Indiana, Nigeria. We worldwide out here. We worldwide. Where we at? Not Tampa, Baltimore. Okay. ATL, Delaware. Thank you for sharing it first. Shared. Thank you, Tevin. Yes, yes. This is going to be cool. This is going to be fun. So we got worldwide participation here, and I'm really excited about that. I'm going to share this in a couple of other places, and then we're going to get into what's going to be a really fun morning here. Just doing some mixing. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But again, those that are coming in, share it. I think I'm going to give away a copy of Yosh Drum Warehouse to somebody that shares before the stream is over. To somebody who shared it. Let me look here. And we're gonna get to work here in just a second. Let me see, what am I looking for? Oh, I'm tapping in the wrong thing. Bear with me just a second. This is gonna be fun. Let me also share it over here. All right. Just I like to share it in a couple places as well. Thank you. Thank you, man. I mean, this is a simple Sony camera. Nothing too crazy with the camera. It's a Sony A6000. So it's the cheaper of the Sonys. I got a $50 lens on it that I got off Amazon. Nothing crazy. It's a manual lens, and it gives me the look. Camera action is all about your lighting, your lens, and all of those things like that working in tandem to give you a great picture. All right, let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun here, and make sure you've shared it. Oklahoma City, cool. Yes, sir. All right, make sure you share this for me. We're gonna get this popping. We're gonna have some fun today, and we're gonna mix. I'm inside of Studio One, as you can see. I'm just kind of resizing my screen real estate so I can have some place to do. So I'm working on this song by this artist. I don't even know the name of the artist. I think his name is Jovan. Not Jovan, Javon, Javon something or another. And I'm not going to even try to pronounce his last name, but the producer on this record is a guy by the name of Darren Atkins. And if you guys were paying attention, I actually did some vocal recording with my crew the other night here on Facebook Live, just showing this. And so I'll play a little bit of it.
That's what you do. If you believe in God and you know His promises are true, open up your hearts, extend your faith, and receive this as I sing.
Yeah, Jovan. So some of you who are diehard fans, y'all remember when we was recording this the other night. See, Jovan, that's that country accent. I'm from Tennessee, so like, you know, we pronounce things like we murder words. We murder words, boy. We murder words. Yeah, I called the boy Jovan. Javon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, deadlines. That's the same reason why I'm working, Dale, is deadlines. Why are you working on a Saturday? Because deadlines. That's why. And people don't understand deadlines that have to be done by the end of the month, and when you got a bunch of other stuff going on. But I digress. We're back in the mix. This is what we got. This is a really, really dope song that I'm pleasure to be a part of. I didn't do any of the music. All I'm doing is I did vocal recording, vocal production on this record, and I'm mixing it. Those are my two functions for this particular record. So I didn't do any of the production. I don't know who all played on it outside of the producer. His name is Darren Atkins or Akins, who sent me the record to do vocal production and mixing. So that's all I did on this was vocal production, and I'm mixing it now. And so we're gonna dig in and we're gonna mix. I'm gonna show you my process of mixing drums. So one thing that I want to note here with drums, the best way to get good sounding drums is to record good sounding drums. All right. That's the way you get good sounding drums. They have to sound good at the source. Otherwise, you're not mixing drums. You're fixing drums. All right. And we don't want to fix drums. We want to mix them. You know what I mean? These are drums that don't have to be fixed. They just need to be mixed. Take a listen to the drums raw, no samples, no nothing. This is what it sounds like. Very, very clean, good sounding drums. That's what you want to work with. This is the type of source material you want to work with. Now, one thing that I did so far is I actually duplicated the snare track. In Studio One, you can literally right click and click duplicate track complete, and it'll give you a third snare, which I'm gonna need. So, and let me actually remove this, because what I want to do is just duplicate this track where I've done some, just some slight kind of pullbacks on some things. And the main thing is on the front end of this song, there's some rudiments kind of going on with the snare, this kind of stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to trigger that, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise you end up with some kind of wonky, things going on. So you don't want to trigger that kind of stuff. But you want to trigger the stuff that does. So even right there on the beginning, you got some there. So I duplicated the snare twice. So we have that. So that's one thing that I've done. Other than that, I haven't done any other thing besides add in a little EQ. And all I did right here, this is on my drum bus. So I have everything bussed. The drums are sitting on this bus right here in, where it's in red, this whole section right here. These are where my drums are sitting. Everything is routed to this one bus. And I have an EQ on the top here. And on this EQ, all I've done is literally did like a little dip, and I can actually back off of that. It doesn't need to be that dramatic, at around 3K. And that's just to get me some, 3K is like your harshness frequency. Whenever you hear something and your ears start going, what is that? It's typically, and it can do it in other frequency spectrums, you know, you can do it in other spaces, don't get me wrong. But 3K is a really, really, really harsh frequency. So when I hear harshness in the mid-range, the first place I go looking is 3K, like mid-range. When I know, especially if I'm listening to it and I hear harshness, not distortion, there's a difference, but harshness on the 3K range, I go straight to 3K range, and I just kind of do a little pull back there. Just something I can hear it. When I hear too much 3K, I know it's there. And so I kind of balance my stuff around 3K a lot. So one thing we're going to do here, I just realized something else I haven't done. Let me do this real quick. Bear with me. I need to actually add in my mastering chain. Let's see here. Or not my mastering chain, but my master chain. You'll see what I'm talking about here. I need to put some, I don't have anything on the master bus, and I'm going to put some stuff on the master bus real quick. So you guys are seeing my process, my raw process in raw form here. I need to go to files, and this is another, and I'll use this as another mode to teach something else about Studio One that's really, really dope. I can actually go to any song. Which one I want to pull from? I think I'll pull from finally here. I can go to any song, and you can pull up the track presets, the channels, and I can pull the chain from any of my channels. So here's my master chain from this particular song. Let's pull here. Where we at? Mixer. Let me pull the mixer up. And so this is the drag and drop power of Studio One. I can literally drag my whole chain from that song to this song. And then let that all load up here. These are just things I keep on my master chain. And then we'll get rid of that. And I don't need that. Everything else should be pretty solid. All right. So, sorry. Digress again. Let's pull it back. So I'm probably going to have to pull the volume down on this. No, actually I don't. All right, feeling good. All right, sweet. So got that in place. Just wanted to make sure I was good. All right, so make sure there's some questions. You clowning with Studio One capabilities. Just update your Pro Tools. Yes, get off of Pro Tools. Survey video on bass EQ and compression. I will. He does. The Dale has an article on gospel producers. All right, let's move. Let's work. All right, so I got my bus, my master bus, not my master bus, but my bus, my drum bus, right? So the only other thing I have on the drum bus, I have this little chain from Slate, using Slate digital plugins, FGN, just a little head, you know, just a little air, you know, not anything crazy. These are just literally just basic settings, you know, here and there, yada, yada, yada. Nothing crazy there. Then I'm running it into some tape just because. Let's make sure we're not overloading it. 15 IPS. And I think we're good on that. I could probably drive it in just a little more. Let's see what we got here. Bring it back a little bit. Yeah, about right there. So a little tape, and then one of my favorite plugins for drums, Smack Attack. And this just kind of, it accentuates those. It's like a transient shaper, you know. It just really accentuates and adds a little bit of attack onto those transients. It's subtle, so watch. You hear it now with it off. Let's bring it back in. Real subtle, right? Not anything crazy. Just without it. So it's a very subtle effect, and everything in mixing is always subtlety. It's never, you know, unless you're going for extreme, that's cool. I'm not going for extreme with this. So everything that I do adds a little subtle touch. All right. So now we move down. Hi-hat. I'd already put something on the hi-hat. Just got the slate. Just that. Just the console taper thing. That's nothing crazy. You know, roll off all your lows on your hi-hat. You know, bump them up. Bump up the highs on the hi-hat. Bump up the highs on the hi-hat. And then I got this little API on here just cause, you know, just cause I like the way it sounds. I really didn't do anything with it. Just like the way it sounds. But kick, now here's where it gets cool. I'm gonna literally walk through each one of these things and show you what I do to get my drums sounding the way that they do. So we're gonna pull up, I'm gonna move over the virtual mix rack, of course. I'm gonna move that over so I can have that on. And actually, I like to have these on every channel, but you'll see. We'll pull that up, and then we'll pull up. I like to layer the kick, which again, we're gonna go back. We're not gonna replace the kick. Everything in mixing is in mixing drums. I don't like doing full replacement, unless it's just trash. We gotta replace it. But we're gonna make this triggered, and then we just really need to make this kick one. I don't think I'm gonna layer multiple kicks, just one kick that I kind of like, because he has a decent sounding kick. This is how his kick actually sounds. Nice, meaty, right? You know what I'm saying? Really good. I like the API 550. Is this in stereo? Let me make sure. Let me get right over here. Hold on. Yeah, it's in stereo. All right, shouldn't be, but okay, we'll work with it. I like the API 550B. I love this on kick. There's a preset that I like to go with. It's usually bass drum 2. That's with it. That's without it. Then we listen in context.
That's what he said. That's what he do. It doesn't matter how deep the valley. He'll do it. That's what he said, and that's what he'll do. He said that he would always keep.
So feels good, but it's still not in the context of the mix. It's not giving me that. Now, sure, I could do some EQ work on that. Yeah, sure. But this is one of the things where one of the places where samples come in real clutch. So I'm gonna pull up trigger 2, and this is on the triggered kick channel. I'm not replacing the kick. I'm gonna use that because it's got a lot of meat. So I like the meat of that kick, but I'm gonna put in something from Yosh Drum Warehouse. We're gonna go to the trigger files. Actually, I don't want to do trigger files. I want to do something legacy that I love. There's a legacy folder that has all of Yosh's like legacy samples from where you know, stuff he's used over the years. On these are the samples that have been used on Kirk Franklin's record, on Marvin Sapp's record, Israel Houghton's records, hundreds of records, our favorite records, Ty Tribbett, all of them. These samples have been used on those records. And so Yosh was dope enough to give us the legacy samples. You know what I mean? So Presets are dope. All right, I'm gonna look at questions in just a second. I want to get a little bit of work done, and then I'm gonna look at what you guys are saying in the comment section. All right, so there's this one I love called A Very Fat Kick. This is what it sounds like. Very Fat Kick. It's really, really dope, and it's got that top end kind of thing that's gonna make it cut through the mix. And so I like to take that, and again, we're gonna pair it. I'm just gonna move this over this 550B over, and let's listen just to the two kicks together and see what we got. That's with the sample in. This is without the sample. Now I got some good meat on that kick, so I don't want to get rid of it. But I want to add that on top of it to give it that thump. Shortcut. So now when I put it in the mix, so it cuts through a little bit more. I think I want to even go a little bit more aggressive with this one. There's another preset. There's nothing wrong with using presets. I love presets, and then you kind of get them, and then you dial them back to what you want. But this preset, adds a little bit more top end on that kick. So you hear that? Right? Cutting through. Now let's hear it in the mix. So I got it through the mix now. So that's feeling good. That's feeling good. That kick is feeling really, really good. All right. So I'm literally walking through. This is literally how I lay out all my stuff, and I walk them through. I'm going to take a second and answer some questions, make sure I'm not missing anything, because I know I can get to going. Ferris, if you're still on there, DM me about mixing. I'll get you straight. DM me about that if you're still watching. They have to be good. Please make a video on bass EQ and compression. Absolutely. Yep. Import session data. There's a function in Studio One where you can import session data inside of Studio One too. I mean 3 or 5. We're on Studio One 5, but you can do it in Studio One as well. You can import session data. It's a click, and you can import your thing. I just like the drag and drop feature. That's just me. Tape or saturation knob. I love tape, honestly. Saturation knob is cool though. Kevin, what's good, man? How do I get how you got the vocals to cut through? I haven't even mixed the vocals yet. The best way to get great sounding vocals is to record great sounding vocals. And you can go back and actually watch. I did a live a few days ago where I was actually recording these vocals for this track. So you can go back and check that. Why Studio One over other DAWs? It just blesses me. That's why. Studio One is dope, and it's just my favorite DAW. Yes. Hey Jess, that's my little sister. Y'all welcome my little sister into the room. My actual blood sister. All right. Let's keep it moving. Overheads. Now, I'm gonna show you. The thing is to mix quick. So my guy, what's it called, said something about presets. I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna pull in virtual mix rack, right? On my overheads, which they recorded really good. And I think there's a preset that I literally used that talks about, it's called overheads. It's called overhead smooth. Yep. This is literally the preset I use on overheads. overhead smooth, and I just drag them across both. Kind of smooths them out. Those cymbals sound much smoother. I don't feel like I need, we'll listen to it, but I don't feel like I need to do anything else to it. Let's get to it. That's at the end. Because the overheads don't feel bad to me. So if something sounds good, why mess with it? You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to do something dramatic to my overheads and they sound good? I don't need to do that dramatic. Hold on. I'm just going to put an EQ in here. Hold on. Let's just put in a Pro EQ. And let me get to where it's driving. I mean, those overheads don't sound bad. If anything, I want to cut some low off of them. Up to about 100. Yeah, up to about 100. That doesn't feel bad. And if something doesn't feel bad, you don't have to do it. Sometimes we get into this thing of like, we got to do everything to everything, do something to everything, and you don't. If it sounds good, there's no reason to mess with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you. Why you gotta mess with it if it sounds good? You know what I'm saying? Sounds great. Why do I need to mess with it? Now, snare bottom, I keep that really simple. Pro Q, you know, add that in there. And then we'll just throw a CLA. We'll just throw a 2A on there. 2A. We'll throw, just throw the CLA 2A on there. And just compress it a little bit. Just to bring it up. That sounds good. And then I'll repeat the same thing with my snare top. Bring off the compression a little bit. -3 dB is usually my go-to on compression. Yeah. Whenever I can get it knocking at 3, I feel like I'm doing something. I just use that as a rule. All right, let's keep it moving. Snare. So remember I duplicated the snare twice, right? So I got 2 duplicated snares. So as you can see, you might can see it says snare top 2, snare top 3. If you can't, that's what this channel and this channel are. The snare top 2 and snare top 3. All right. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to add in a trigger from the warehouse. So we're going to go, let's see if we can craft. Now it's about crafting the sound to get, because mixes, this is a big mix. This is about 60, 70 tracks, the whole mix. So the snare, if I play it, I am a child of victory. Now I can hear that snare, but it's puny, you know? And yeah, I can add some compression. I can turn the volume up. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But you know, you just kind of want to make it sound big and wide and huge or whatever. So we're gonna start in. We're bringing in trigger. I'll probably bring in some compression. Same compression. I just copy my compression from there because it's the same snare. We're just duplicating it, and we're gonna add in a sample to see how it sounds. So going here again to the warehouse, trigger files, and we're gonna add something from here. Let's look at and we're just going to experiment. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I'm just going to test something out, see which ones I like. This is very non-scientific. I love this one because it's called everybody's favorite, and because in the session it was everybody's favorite snare. When we heard this snare in the session, we instantly thought, man, that sounds good. So I go here. I go with overhead. Let's bring it up. Now here's something else I'll do. I'll drag it in as well, again, a second time. But we'll change. So this is the dope part about Warehouse with Trigger. You can change different types. So I got everybody's favorite with rim, with overhead, or I can do a dry, which sounds like this. You got a little bit more wetness if you add the overhead version. You hear that? But then I can add the room to it. That's the room. That's with room. But I want to add the room only, which I think feels really good. So now we end up with this. Let's listen to it in the mix.
That's what you do. Let mountains shake and hills be moved. He'll do it. That's what
Again, without it.
And that's what he'll do.
With it.
No weapon formed will do me harm. He'll do it. That's
So you instantly start to hear now how the snare is cutting through. So I'm going to tweak this a little bit. That sound, I like that high end, but it almost sound, when in the mix, to me, it almost sounds like a clap. So here's a little bit of a trick, and this, it works, you know, sometimes just like that. But here's a little trick that I like to do sometimes, depending on what type of snare sound I'm going for. You can actually tune this snare down right here with this button, this knob. So I'm gonna tune it down to 12. Maybe a little bit more, maybe around 17. See how that feels. Oh. I think that's what I'm looking for. Okay, it's feeling good. That's feeling good. All right, let's keep it moving. So I want to add something else in here on the second trigger track, mainly because I want to blend different snares in to get a fatter, bigger snare sound. So again, we'll add in. Let's hit the plus. Sorry, it's right there. Trigger 2. Bring in another instance of Trigger. Browser, Warehouse, no, not there. Yeah, Trigger, snares. Let's see. I like that Nashville snare. That's one of my favorites, is the Nashville snare as well. Let's just try that. It's got that deep, so it gives some oomph to it. Let's bring it up. Let's turn it up too. Yeah, that gives you some nice little kind of boom in there with overhead. Ooh, yeah. Let's see if that feels good in the mix. Drum mix. Keeping it moving. Let's get back over here.
That's what he said, and that's what he'll do. Though I may stumble, I won't fall.
Yeah, you know, and this is a part of the process. I don't know if I like that. And this is a part of the process, trying to figure it out, what you like and what works and what doesn't work. So let's move on to another snare. Let's try the Forever Classic. We're going to clear this one out. The Nashville snare. Because I'm looking for something that's going to give me, that's got some nice ring in it. So that might actually give me some more body to the snare that I'm looking for. Yeah.
He said, and that's what he'll do. No weapon formed will do me harm. He'll do it. That's what he said, and that's what he'll do. He'll hear me when I call. He'll do it. Call his name.
Yep, that's feeling good. Let me see here. I want to try one more thing. There actually is a stock trigger snare that I like as well. Let me find it. I'm just want to see if that gives me what I like. It's called the slate snare, actually. It's really the rooms. Yeah. Let's get that in there. There's just some really good sounding room snares. Let's see what that feels like. Okay, now. Ooh, there we go.
That's what he said, and that's what he'll do. No weapon formed will do me harm. He'll do it. That's what he said, and that's what he'll do. He'll hear me when I call. He'll do it.
Now it's starting to feel like I needed to feel. So that's the process. That's the process of getting that feel. I don't want to lose the body of his snare, but I want to also keep his on the top with the other snares and the room snares, like really accentuating what that sounds like. and giving me a really big drum sound. Now, the other thing I'll do to add some weight is we'll add some verb. So I'll add an effects channel to that, whatever. Well, before I add verb, I know what I want to do. Actually, I want to add some parallel compression on that snare. So let's do that. I'm just going to take a really simple, we'll just do a two-way. Doing parallel compression, throw it on a bus, and just smash it. Just turn the compression all the way up. See how much attack that adds to it? Just smashing it. So that's one thing. All right, let's get back over here. Yeah, that feels real good. Let's add in another. Let's add in another effects channel. And we'll add some verb here. I like Valhalla. I like that. Big snare. All right, now we just adjust the wetness of it. I want it like 2. Let's name these, of course. All right, cool. Feels good. All right, take a break, look at questions, and then we're going to talk about these toms, which is the last part, which is actually pretty simple to kind of tackle. But let's look at questions, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, let's see. Golly. Oh, God. Who's asking my sister questions about me growing up? Lord have mercy. It sounds good. Let it alone. Yes. What if there's no snare bottom? If there's no snare bottom, you can replace it. You can add in something. Add in a snare bottom. Duplicate the snare and use a snare bottom sample. You can pull it from another. You can pull it from another. I'm gonna move this over here because I always feel like when I'm talking to you, I can see the questions from here. That's probably better. You can, if there's no snare bottom, you can duplicate. I would duplicate the snare and just pull in a snare bottom, sample a snare bottom from another mix I did that sounded great, and just throw it in there and trigger a snare bottom if you feel like you need one. Yeah, Jessica says, Lord, it was kind of like this. He's making rumor beats on the cat. Oh God. Yikes. All right, y'all, I got my little sister in here. Oh, thanks, Jessica. Yeah, my baby sister is working on her doctorate in music. She's far exceeded me in terms of music theory. I just make music, and she knows how to really dissect it like a surgeon. What's the best way to get the ghost notes out on a duplicate track? So, Tim, Great question. I don't try to get the the ghost notes on the duplicate track. On the duplicate track, they are for it's for the trigger. So when you start getting duplicate notes, when you start to get the ghost notes in on a duplicate track that you're trying to trigger, you end up with some wonky results. I'll give you an example as to why like I brought this in here. So watch this. This is the beginning of this song. This is on the trigger track. I brought in these little ghost notes, rudiment things in here. And this is what you end up with if you have that in on a duplicate track. Okay, that's not really doing. Hold on. Let me bring it up here. I'm gonna actually bring the notes up. You know what I'm saying? You end up triggering something that doesn't need to be triggered. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you try to bring in ghost notes or get the ghost notes in. The best way to get your ghost notes heard in a track and cutting through is to clip gain them. Cut that or automate them. Either one works. But just go into that section, chop it up, and increase those ghost notes in the sections where you want, because in compression plus clip gain will always yield those results of great ghost notes in the track. So for instance, you go here to where it's really driving, you can hear the ghost notes. So I still got his ghost notes in there. Bumps, you still can hear that in there. And if you can't, then you can parallel compress, you can clip gain, you can add compression, and those combinations of those things will bring those ghost notes up in the mix and always make that drum feel a little bit better. All right, keeping it moving. Stack joints. Yes, sir. All right, so good. We're caught up. All right, we're looking good on both YouTube and on Facebook. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I really, really do. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Do me a favor, hit the share button. Before the stream is over, I'm actually going to give away a version of the Warehouse to somebody that shared it. All right, let's tackle these toms. So first thing with the toms I've done is I have bussed them over to a bus here for my toms, and then that bus is shooting back to my drums bus. So it's going. I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't, but it's this channel right here where my mouse is, and it's highlighted. But this is my tom bus, and let me see if I can move it around here so you guys can see it. It's probably better seen there. So I haven't touched the volume on it or nothing like that. It's just a regular, kind of bus or whatever. So we're going to throw one of my favorite plugins, CLA drums, on here. And I like to go with the toms preset, start me up. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with that for right now. We're going to see how it sounds. That usually does it for me. I'm just going to be quite honest. And then we'll throw a Pro EQ on the back of it and put, I like to use the stock EQ. I mean, I know there's Fab Filter. I know there's Infinity EQ. And I actually got both of those. And I got Infinity EQ on my master bus doing some stuff. But For track level, I like to. I just use the stock EQ. It just does it. It ain't nothing fancy. Especially if I'm just doing like a low pass filter. What I need Fab Filter and Infinity EQ, the special stuff. And if I'm not getting surgical, if I'm getting surgical, then I'm using a surgical EQ. If I'm just doing a high pass or low pass, the stock EQ will do just fine. I usually go maybe about 75 on there, just as a cut on the low end. Nothing too crazy with that. Let's go to. There's a section in here where the toms are real heavy in there. I think it's somewhere in here. Let's see. No, it's right here. We're just going to loop this section. Now I keep real simple with this. So the first thing on a, I'm not gonna do this on this particular record. But typically I would drop this gate. Well, I would. This is drum gate. Yeah, it's drum gate. I would go through and hand clean or clip. Do some. I'm not gonna do that. This is one good way to clean your toms. Is the drum gate. And there's a preset. We start with the preset. I think it's tom D-bleed natural. And let's see what it's doing. So I use that to kind of see where it's hitting. This is your threshold. And I bring that threshold up to where it's only reading the tom. And if I'm still getting snare, that means it's still too low. And then we make sure we ain't missing it. Let's see. It's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Yeah. So I'm getting it. All right, let's add the other one in. Let me back up because actually I think I was using the toms. Yep. Okay, let's try this. Hold on. Rack tom. Let's go rack tom. Yeah, gives you a nice little vibe. All right. Now let's add that on top of it. Let's see what we got. And I'm listening also for the cutoff on that. It sounds really good. It doesn't sound like it's too bad. So let's bring this one in. And I'll just copy Feels clean to me. This is what this is mixing. This is mixing. It's a lot of listening. Now we pull in the rest of the drums. Add in some compression just to bring it up. So this is where it goes out. See, I had that one up too high. So I was losing some toms. You don't want to lose toms. So that's important to make sure when you're using a gate like this to make sure that you set it to a point where you're not losing anything. There we go. So I might have to leave that one a little bit open, a little bit wide open. But it's feeling good. It's feeling really, really good. Whew. Now the only other thing I might do is add in my drum verb to my toms just a little bit, not dramatic. Now that's pretty much where I like to have my drums sitting and sounding. What I'll do here next is kind of zoom out and let's take a listen to what it sounds like in the mix. And let me take these vocals. See, these vocals are very high. I have not mixed, as you can see on my mix bus, not on my mix bus, but on my console, I have not done anything with anything else. All of this, there's no other plugins on any other channel. So I'm gonna mute the lead and the BGVs. Whew. Woo. That's how you know when you got it. When you hear it, God. And I haven't mixed anything else. I haven't done anything to anything else, but the drums are already feeling nice and full and big. Now here's where you get to see where you came from. So I'm gonna disable all plugins here on the drums. So all of the plugins are disabled. Turn them all off, right? So this is what the drums sound like raw without any processing. This is where we started. We started with this. This is where we ended. Thanks to the warehouse. You know what I'm saying? God. And as you can see, I got very minimal plug-in stuff going on here. I don't have a whole lot of plugins, EQ, compression, and trigger. I'm not doing a whole lot of crazy plug-in chains to get that sound. Simple is best. Simple is the best type vibe. And I did all of this utilizing samples from Yosh Drum Warehouse and just a handful of EQ tricks. Nothing fancy. If I had been not talking through this, I could have did this in probably 15, 20 minutes. But because I'm talking my way through it and answering questions and doing all of that, the process takes a whole lot longer. But that's how you get some really good, gosh. That's how I get this is literally my whole drum hand. This is how I get my drums to sound the way that they drum. All right, let me answer some more questions. Thank you. Drums sound amazing, Grace, bro. Thanks to the warehouse and your ear too. Yes, that's awesome. Can I buy that mix from you to use for my church, to your church stream? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We're working on some preset stuff for the warehouse, and all of that coming up real soon, to do some stuff like that. But you can also just follow what I did. Like, I literally showed my whole process over the stream. What else you got? This is why CLA and all those guys use 20 mics for an outboard, for drum tracking. Yeah, it is the reason why they do it. Let me look. I got some stuff on YouTube as well. Hey, amazing. Curious why those plugins at the master bus, or are you asking why or what? Why the plugins at the master bus? Because that's what I'm mixing. Or if you want to know what I got on the master bus, I'm just using like SSL waves, virtual tape, just for some saturation. And as you can see, I'm very, these are things that I adjust once I get to my final mix stage. I just kind of get over here and start adding some, I start adding in stuff on there. So that's literally stuff that I add in for there. Passive EQ by Native Instruments, the massive passive as we call it. What is this? Pugue Chow, how do you say it? Pultec, 670. Infinity EQ there, just low end boost. These are stuff that I'll adjust as I go in. I got Ozone 9 on there for some width, stereo imaging. Got my WL loudness meter for that. PSP vintage warmer just as my final limiter, and tonal balance by Ozone. Great plugins. Definitely kind of help you see where your mix is falling in line with commercial mixes. Amazing tool to have in your arsenal. All right. Yes. See, Darren, that's the artist. And Ant, I'm not even gonna try to Darren. I'm just gonna call you Darren because I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your last name, bro. He's the producer on this record, and he knows I can show you my hand. He's been paying attention, but you'll never have my fingerprint. My ear, my personal preference goes a long way. You can copy these exact second settings that I did, and you won't get the same sound that I have because you don't know what I'm listening for. You're not in my head. So that's just the way it goes. How much imaging do I use? How wide is too wide? How wide is too wide is when it starts sounding washed out. You have to be careful on width, especially with the mid range. It's just a taste thing for me. And I play around. When I get to my mastering stage, I'll probably, and it's not even really a master stage. It's like a pseudo master. So it's like, when I get to my final mix stage, I'll play around with the width to see if I'm liking it or not liking it or whatever. Sometimes I get to it and I'm like, nah, I don't need it. I'll just turn it off, so it just really depends on what it feels like with that or whatever. So you have to be very careful with stereo imaging. It's good for, especially, I like it on ballad type stuff that needs it. Like if it's like a ballad, and the mix needs to feel wide and the stereo image needs to be broad, then I'll add the imager on the bus to kind of make it feel bigger, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I just kind of play around with it. I just kind of keep it narrow, especially for something that's not as fun. This statement of yours is wow, true. Yes, absolutely. All right, so that's pretty much that on the drums. I think I got them to the place where I want them. Now I said I was going to give away. A copy of Yosh Drum Warehouse, and I'm probably going to keep mixing. I'm just hanging out on a Saturday. I'm just going to let you guys keep hanging out. Let's see who shared this. I got 22 shares. Let's see if I can get to these shares and kind of see. I might have to look at it. Let me see. I might have to pull it here on my computer. Let me see. Because it won't let me see the shares on. Won't let me see the shares on my what's it called. So let's see your Facebook. Let's see if I can get over here and see who shared it. And I'm gonna pick one of you guys. Do you give engineer classes on the slate? On the slate, on the work. Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm actually working on that to do some stuff with that pretty soon. So stay tuned. I'm going to be doing some stuff on working with this whole slate console or what have you. Have you ever tried to touch or figure out the new spatial? I'm working on that. 23 shares. Have you ever tried to touch or the new Apple Music, the spatial audio? Yeah. I got you now. Yeah, I'm actually looking into that and researching that. And once I do have more solid information on how to make that work, I'm going to be doing some stuff on that or whatever. Yeah, Slate Front platform is definitely coming up. All right, I'm looking at my shares. Come on, pop up. Let's see, who are we going to choose? Let's see. Who am I going to choose to win this? Let's see. Looking through all the shares. I think I'm looking through all the shares now. All right, I'm just going to lift my hand and point to the screen, and whatever hand number I'm pointing to is going to be the person who wins it. All right. Terrence Glover. If you're still watching, Rev, you have won a copy of Yosh Drum Warehouse. Hit me up in the inbox and DM me on Facebook or wherever. He said I tried to share more, more with it, but let me. Hit me up and we will get you squared away on that. Terrence Glover, hit me up. Terrence Glover is the winner of Drum Warehouse. All of you other guys, you can go get Yosh Drum Warehouse. The link is tagged right there. And for those who are on, let me copy this. For those that are on YouTube, I think I can actually post it here in the chat on YouTube. It won't let me paste. Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on one second. I'm going to post it for those that are in the chat watching on YouTube. We're going to make sure that you guys get the opportunity to get it. Yosh Drum Warehouse is amazing. It will take your drum. It's our moniker is the best drums of your life. And they're being used all. Let me bring this up on the screen too so you guys can see it as well. These are being used by all over the world by top engineers. Look at this. I got Dana Saray using these. John Blass, top engineer, award-winning mixing engineer. John Blass is using them. Kenneth Shelton, all of these people, and we've got people all over the world using these samples to really make some great music and take their drum sound. So these samples are award-winning samples. And soon will be multiple award-winning samples. So, okay, this is for the people on YouTube, just so y'all can have it. Go to that link if you want to purchase Yosh Drum Warehouse. That will bless you, and it will bless your ministry. When it comes to good production, does the number of tracks really matter? Great question, Mark. Absolutely not. Actually, when it comes to production, and let me move over here. When it comes to production, less is more, honestly. I mean, we've gotten to this track war over the last like decade where we've been like trying to cram. You get mixes that's got 120, 130, 140 tracks, and sometimes less is more. Go listen to the Maverick City stuff. The Maverick City stuff that's coming out. Yeah, I know some of you guys hate the CCM stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's not an argument for this stream. Go listen to the mixes, though. These are the most stripped down mixes. They sound so big because they have less instrumentation to try to make it. So the focus is just making spreading those few instruments out across the stage. And it feels more authentic. It feels wider, it feels bigger because they have less instrumentation. They got like keys, drums, sometimes a bass, acoustic guitar, and about 50 people singing on like 5 mics. I bet the whole session is probably 25 tracks. You know what I'm saying? And they're making just the sound big. So when you're working with more information, you're trying to, as an engineer, it's difficult when you have large mixes because you're trying to make all of that stuff fit. You're trying to take 120 channels and cram them down into 2 channels. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is you lose because you end up in a fight. I end up in fights, not real fights, but back and forth revision fights, I'll call it that, with producers of these records because I can't hear these bells. I can't hear the bells. I need more of that synth lead here, and you know what I mean? So we have to spend a whole lot of time automating because they want to get all of these things that they're married to heard. They done did 45 aux tracks, 11 guitar tracks, drums, they got keys, Rhodes, organ, MKS blended in, pads. Then they got the loop. The loop has like 30 loop tracks in there trying to create this massive percussion thing. And it's like you're fighting as an engineer trying to make all of this stuff heard. And the producer wants to hear everything on top of the vocals. Then you got the vocals. You ain't even got the vocals in there. That's just the music. Then you throw another 40 vocal tracks on top of that, and then you're trying to blend all these vocal tracks, And then you still got to make the most important thing heard, which is the lead vocal. And so that's where it comes in. I was just in a conversation with an engineer last week, and he was fighting with a client that wanted horn. Like they were married to the horns. They probably spent, that's probably the most expensive part of the track they probably paid for. But they were so married to these horn tracks that they were telling the artist, turn the lead vocal down, turn the background vocals down, turn the drums down, turn the horns up. I just want to hear. And he was so frustrated. The engineer I was talking to was so frustrated. He said, I was so frustrated. I was feeling so petty that I was just about to solo the horns and just send him the horns. I was just going to send him a track with nothing. It was just the horns. That was just going to be, because that's what you want. So that's a funny story, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's like you want it heard, and it's like, yo, you need to like one, chill, back off of your engineer that's trying to make your song sound as best as possible, but at the same time, less is more, because if you got less needs to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And so you're not fighting with trying to get this intricate string arrangement with all these cellos and violas and all of that stuff to cut through the 6 guitar tracks that's in there, and the 16 drum tracks, and the 45 vocal track. You know what I mean? And you're trying to squeeze these strings out of all, between all of that. So less is more. I will say that less is definitely more. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But but again, all of these things, take that with a grain of salt, because all of these things kind of change and fluctuate from mix to mix. But my philosophy is less is more, because you can get a better, cleaner, more clear, mixed with better clarity when you got less information to work with. But when you got like 125 things that you're trying to get heard, it gets really muddy really, really quick, and stuff just starts to disappear, because there's multi-band, but it's more work for the engineer, because then you're trying to multi-band, you're trying to get stuff out of the way, you're getting real surgical with EQs, trying to let me bump up this pad just a little notch at like 1.35K to just push this pad to make it cut past there. And you end up spending 3 days on a mix that, you're trying to get it to sound good, and it just didn't sound good out the gate. You know what I mean? Because you had all this stuff they were trying to stack. So yeah, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yep, hilarious. Turn them vocals down and cut them horns up. He wants a horny mix. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Just solo the horns. This dude is horny. You know what I'm saying? He wants it. He wants them horns heard. He wanted them horns heard. It wasn't me. It was another guy. But we was talking about him, and we was just like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're good, man. Because I would probably do the same thing. I probably would be like, yeah. Let me see here. Okay, good. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going up through these comments here. How do you bring up? How do you bring up the whole volume of the session without distorting? Any tips running into issues? It's exporting low in volume. Joshua Knight, you probably need to go back down to the track level, and just, if you get to that, it's like you got problems at the track level. Start like bussing everything. And I don't know all of the details of your mix, so it's making it hard. That's hard to kind of diagnose. My thing for gain staging is sometimes you got to turn all the faders down, everything down. You got to take your tracks, group them, bust them. Once you got them bust to different buses, you mix from your buses, and then you just bring all of those I try to bring everything up to unity, and then I start tweaking in my buses. So if I go here, wrong one, this one. If I go here, I start playing with it as I get it in here. So I have my drum bus, and I start having volumes. I start playing around with the levels, you know what I'm saying, until I get that perfect level of those drums. And then I have the drum bus, you know what I'm saying? And then that drum bus is like, it's mixed down low, and I blend that with the acoustics, and I blend that with the electrics, so everything ends up with a volume thing, as you can see, until I got there. But I'm mixing at the end of the day. Once I've got my levels at the track level good, from there I'm just mixing from the buses, you know what I mean? On my controller here, I have you can't see it on camera, but I have a fader port. It's got eight volume, 8 sliders on it. I got bus mode. I can put it in bus mode, and it gives me all of the volume of my buses. So once I get out of track mode, I go to bus mode, and then I can just mix from the buses. I can start leveling everything from the buses. So then, even though it may be 100-track mix, I'm working with 8. I've busted down to like 8 to 10 channels, and I can manage that mix from those 10 channels. And so there I do my leveling and trying to get it there. So getting it level could be anything from putting a limiter, on your. I really don't know the specifics of what you're trying to do and what's causing that. So I would just say back off of the volume on everything, and then maybe start building from there and get a better mix, and just try to get it under 0. Drop you a limiter on the master, bus, and mix into your limiter, because the limiter keeps you under 0. Those are some different ways I would look at it. What we missed. That's when I played it. I want to hear it. Turn the vocals down. Turn them. Man, I appreciate your YouTube content. I love to dig deeper into iPad production and accessories. I'm gonna be doing definitely gonna be doing some more stuff with that. Yes, sir. Make sure I didn't miss anything on YouTube. Saying hi from Nigeria. What's up? Nigeria's in the house. All right. When it comes to production. Okay, yeah, I think I got everything. All right, sweet. All right, so I'm just gonna hang out for a little while longer. I'm working on this record anyway, so I'll probably trim this on YouTube, and I'm probably not gonna leave this up on Facebook. But we'll just hang out for a little while, and I'll answer some more questions as we go. And you guys can kind of finish seeing. I'll just keep digging into my mix. So this is where we are in the mix right now. We got the drums to a place. So let's start building. And that's Darren on bass. Darren is an amazing bass player. I'm gonna pull in my bass chain from another track. So I dropped my bass chain in. Of course, it sounds like trash. Why? Because we hadn't gain staged. So let's gain stage it. Let's see what we're looking at. So it's distorting somewhere. Where is it distorting? I'm sure here. So we definitely want to pull it down here, and we definitely don't need our bass in there. Let's Let's see what we got that's making it. Let's bring it down. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the source. Let's just bring this over here, and let's trim it at the source. Oh man, it quit on me. All right. Not sure what made that quit. It's cool. Doesn't say. Let's pull it back up. I know I'm pushing my setup. Luckily thing. Let's see. We'll open up the backup. Hopefully I didn't lose too much. I probably didn't. Let's see how much I moved. I mean, I remember what I did. Then we're gonna save where we are. Let's pull it back up though. Thank God for backups. And I know I'm stressing my system because I am streaming at the same time. Whatever on Logic would never buy. Get off my stream. All right, okay, so it looks like I'm here with the bass. Okay, let's see. Let's see what I lost. Let's save too. All right. All right, let's get back to where we were. Sorry. I remember what I did, though. Sucks that I lost that, though. I can get it back quick, though. I remember what I did. Loop Elements. That's Loop Elements. Go get Loop Elements. What's this? Trying to think of this compressor that I use all the time. Old timer. Yeah. So, oh yeah, man, Greg Wells is dope. Loop elements must have. So here's something I want to point out real quick, and this is just like a mixing thing. Look at my. I want to show you guys something. Take a look at my mixing. Like, just what? Let's just look at my mixer. I want you to see how many plugins I'm using. Now I got a lot on my master bus. Those are for various reasons, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing at the track level. Like, look at how less I'm doing. That's what I want you to see. I want you to not look at how much I'm doing. I want you to look at how less I'm doing. Number one is because this is a great recorded track. Number two, less, and I said this earlier, less is more. Less is more. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm having to throw 11 plugins on something to get it to sound good, then I'm fixing. I'm not mixing. That means it wasn't recorded good. That means I'm dealing with a crap track that I'm trying to fix. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say this all the time. As you can see, like, I'm mixing from my buses. I'll give you a prime example of something. Check out this aux bus. This aux bus has got a lot going on with it. It's a lot of the meat of the song. But it's a decent blend as it is. So you know what I did? I added a low pass EQ. I added in virtual mix rack. Just adding a little air. I added in ozone to widen it out. And then added compression. And I'm not even really compressing. Let me go ahead and compress. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. Shoot. I'm on my electrics. I clicked on that. So I didn't even add ozone. Sorry. Yeah. So all I got actually is EQ, virtual mix rack, and 2A. That's all that's going on with there. And I got it all bust. And as I start adding elements in, listen to how it's all fitting. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. I don't like. This is how I mix personally. Now, if you are one of those guys that you feel like you got to have like saturation on every channel and tape on everything and everything got to have 6 compressors and we got to go from this bus to that bus and I got to bust it into here and send it over there and all music bus and then I got to parallel compress. You doing too much. Like, that's just for me. Now, if you feel like you got to do all of that stuff, keep doing all of that stuff. That's what's working for you. You keep doing for that. For me, as for me in my house, simple is best. I don't have time to like trying to like, oh yeah, that made it just a little bit warmer. Yeah, I put that extra compressor on that made it just a little bit warmer. Just a little bit warmer. It's a little, and you're just trying to warm. And by the time you get to the mix is hot. You know, I just like simple. Simple is just work. Simple just works for me. Oh yeah, it's nice. However, I'm listening from my studio monitors in the studio. The entire mix sounds very nice, but a little too wet for my liking. This is on YouTube. Little too wet for my liking. Perhaps you like it wet. Yeah, yeah, like it wet. Rev. Appreciate that though. If I mean, hey, it's all we're all tweaking. We're all doing our thing out here. All what works for me that may not work for you. If you like a nice thin, dry, I'm not even saying thin, nice dry mix, or you like your mixes a bit drier or whatever, I'm still actually figuring out what I'm doing. This mix is nowhere near done. So let me precursor that. The mix is nowhere near done. This is not done. As you see, I'm going through and I'm still tweaking and I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? What I want this mix to sound like. I might get to the end of this thing and listen and be like, yeah, think I got too much verb. Think the drums, think the snare's a bit too wet. Maybe I want to dry it up a little bit. Or I might get to the end of my place, or I might get in 6 hours from now and be listening to it and be like, I think that's a little bit too dry. I think I want to add some more verb in or whatever. I haven't even brought my lead vocal in. I just brought my background vocals in. The background vocals have nothing on them, absolutely nothing on them. So yeah, I'm still figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason to look at it from a finality standpoint. And I know we do that. We listen to stuff and we say, but where's the engineer at in the mix? You guys, if you've been hanging, you'll see that I have made it. I start this track from scratch, like from nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like it's too wet, hey, praise the Lord. I'll figure it out in a little bit what I exactly I'm going for, what I'm looking for. Right now, I'm in this phase where I'm like legit just listening and trying to level things and trying to, build things into a place. And it depends. Yeah, somebody just said that it depends on the genre. It depends on what you're going through. Some need that dry studio sound. Some need that vibe. Some need that situation. I'm still figuring out what that's going to look like. So that's a lesson as well for all you guys, for producers, for musicians. We listen to stuff and we're so quick to look at it from a standpoint. Now I can see if I was at the very final stages of my mix, I'm like, hey, this is it. I'm about to get ready to send this to the artist. I don't know what this is going to end up like. So I'd always be cautious about kind of coming to people. And I'm not trying to say, I really appreciate the comment. I don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Like, I appreciate somebody coming in and saying, hey, this mix sounds like this or it sounds like that. And I'm like, honestly, it's not a mix yet. You know what I mean? It's not a mix yet. It's in the process of being mixed, but it's not an actual mix yet. You know what I mean? So I'm just hanging out and I'm just really just a Saturday and I'm just chilling and I'm spending time just working through this track. It's not a mix yet. It's being mixed, but it's not. And this is one of the, and I'm not saying this is just personal. This is one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of sharing like this. And a lot of engineers don't do a lot of sharing like this, because there's this tension, you know what I'm saying, with producers, musicians, engineers, just in the music community in general, where we are quick to kind of jump in and share what and so what happens is a lot of people end up feeling like, oh man, this stuff sucks. I could take that comment and be like, oh man, my mix sucks, man. It's too wet. And then I start doubting what I'm hearing in my own ears. You know what I'm saying? So we have to always listen to the end. That's all I have to say. And always assess where a person is before making a space like that. And the guy says, I know you're still working on it. And it would be absolutely inappropriate to judge a mix when it ain't finished. You are in the process. That's true. You are doing a great job. Thank you, Jerome. See, that's how we do it. Yeah. And I know I went on a tangent, but I went on a tangent because I see that a lot, not just for mixing, Not just, but I see it for producing. I see people go. That's why a lot of people are afraid. And I bet you there's a lot of people watching this stream that are the same way. You be like, yo, I would totally love to go live like this and just mix a track and just produce a track in front of you guys. But you know what? I'm afraid of how people are going to judge it. You know what I'm saying? I'm afraid of how people are going to look at what I'm doing and say that it sounds like trash. And so I just much rather just keep, in my little safe bubble producing and doing all of this stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. But I appreciate the feedback. I definitely will take that in consideration as I'm listening, as I get down to it to feel how wet, how dry it sounds. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. I'm looking at comments on both Facebook and YouTube. It's a lot of back and forth that goes into a mix. Absolutely. Yeah, see, I feel the same way. Yeah, I know. There's so much stuff that I work on a week-to-week basis, and I think to myself, man, I want to go live and show this to you guys. But you know what happens? I end up backing off of it because I'm like, yeah, I don't want nobody to tell me that this sounds trash, or what I think is invalidated, or the fact that I only do EQ and compression, and I keep my mixing very simple, and I don't do a whole lot of processing on individual instruments. I may do a lot of processing on my lead vocal or all of that. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't want people to say that that's wrong because they do it this way. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing. But anyway, let me see. I'm going to do a little bit more here only because I'm going to have to zoom out of this in a minute and really listen to it, because I'm just listening to one section of the song, trying to level. I'm listening to the most active part of the song. You know what I'm saying? This is the most active part. And so I'm gonna have to zoom out in a minute and really see what it's feeling like all the way through the song. And then I do my automating and stuff like that, for it. That's the main. Where is my vocals? Where is my BGVs? That's my lead. There it is, BGVs. I'm just gonna drag this in and just see where we get with these BGVs. It's probably gonna sound like crap once it gets loaded in, but this is probably gonna sound like some straight doo-doo. Let's save it though. That makes the same way you do. It's less is more. It does start with the recording. Yes. I focus more on getting the recording. If I get something in that's not recorded well, I'll tell the artist or producer or whomever, please re-record these drums. Please re-record this. Please get that redone, because I don't want to spend time trying to fix what you got going on. I'm just going to turn all these plugins off. Yeah, Jerome Russell on is answering the question on YouTube. He says you seem to have presets of your favorite plugins already laid out. Notice you just dragged and dropped on the BGV bus. That's absolutely incredible. I'm sure that speeds up your workflow. That is one of the dopest things I love about Studio One. Is that it's this whole drag and drop thing that they got locked in here that you can use, and I can literally, like, this is actually from another song that was a ballad that I did recently. It's called Finally Here by artist named DeMarcus Green that I mixed earlier this week. And I love the way those BGVs felt on there. So I can literally go straight into the file for that song in the file. So this is the file browser in Studio One. And I can legit go into the file browser and just I can grab any preset from any channel because I got presets here. And these are basically what I did. So if I like the way those guitars did in that song, I can literally grab guitar and drag it in on a channel, which I think is just the dopest thing. So it's almost like, and you can also import session data just like you can in like Pro Tools. But I like doing this because I have different workflows for different songs. So a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me. I did these same kind of BGVs on this particular song. Let me just, instead of importing, it's quicker for me to just literally just jump into the folder and grab the preset from that thing. And then I got a new computer. On my older computer, I actually had a lot of these presets already saved down here, in my default, and I could just kind of grab them from here. But I got a new computer, so I'm doing things a little different on this one or whatever. So it's coming together. I'm just kind of listening now. Then I'm going to add in my lead vocal. I'm probably going to jump off in just a second. I've been on for, I think, over 2 hours. I think I've been streaming now. Yeah, 2 hours and 12 minutes. I give you guys a lot of workflow stuff. That's what you said. That's what All right, so I think I'm in a good place. I'm gonna really bounce back out and kind of focus, listen on this without streaming. Cliff Latham says sounds pretty sweet. Thank you so much. One more question: how do you how to handle pitch correction issues, especially on vocals? I do that, Jerome. I do that with Melodyne. If it's really serious, auto tune just to kind of keep things, locked in. Just kind of basic leveling, not leveling, but tuning. But if it gets really, 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 really stupid, then Melodyne or Flex. I've used Flex Pitch in Logic, as well. If I'm working over there. Let's see. Say what I got to. Last little questions, and I'm getting out of here, guys. Waves tune is good too. Any kind of tuning thing, where you can get in and get, real intricate is really, really cool. Every time you go live, I always learn something new. Appreciate what you're doing. Save those presets to a folder in the cloud. Yeah, that's true. I do need to do that. I just need to go to my computer. I can literally just probably like even airdrop those presets over, what I'm saying, to that or what have you. So it's been fun. It's been fun kind of hanging out with you guys. I appreciate it. You guys doing all of those things like that. So check out Yosh Drum Warehouse. This is what I initially jumped over here to show you guys some stuff that I was doing with that. Ended up going live for 2 hours, sharing like mixing and stuff like that. Yes. And stuff like that. So being able to, share with you guys. I enjoy doing that thing. So make sure you check that out. Make sure that you hop on over to gospelproducers.com. We also, check this out. This is the commercial and then I'm out. Gospelproducers.com. We got classes on pretty much everything. You want to know how to mix, the stuff to do, all of the stuff that I've been doing for the last 2 hours. This is the place. This is where I'm learning from. I just got the opportunity to just sit with, these guys, Herb Powers on mastering and sit there and do that. I got Jan Hunter teaching intro to Logic. If you don't have anything, if you don't know Logic, intro to Pro Tools. I got my guy Kevin Keller that did an amazing class to introduce you to Pro Tools. And, for you guys that really want to learn it, I got a class coming in the next couple of weeks on Studio One. Because those of you guys have been asking for that. I need you to get ready for that. The class on Studio One is coming. I always get people that are more talented than what I am because I want to know what they are. People that are gurus at this to teach this stuff. So I got my guy, Matt Edwards, who is a Studio One guru, even 10 times deeper than what I am. He's going to go in and he's going to show you guys how to use Studio One, how to the basics of getting in and out of this program and doing what we need to do. So I got a class on Studio One coming in the next couple of weeks. Just got to get past Labor Day and all that stuff like that. I got vacation next week. I'm going on. So all of that stuff like that. So got to get past all of that and then I'll be ready. And then we got the producer series with some of these top producers with Aaron Lewis and Jamel Kimbrough. That's Todd Delaney's producer. Aaron, we all know who Aaron produces for. Dave Outing teaching show program. I got Paris Bowens with the Art of Ox. And then we got the recording. We got the GOAT on recording and mixing. That's John Yosh. He is the guy who he is my mentor in mixing. John Yosh is my mentor. This is the guy that has taught me literally almost everything I know about mixing. Yosh. That's the guy. He's the GOAT. And we got him to do it's almost like a 10, 15 hour class on mixing, from recording and mixing. So we start with recording and he just records. And then we record a song and then we went from recording it all the way up to mixing it. I mean, it's insane. We got the whole process of recording and mixing, and you can get either one if you're just interested in learning how to record. This is like using outboard gear and all of that stuff like that. He's doing that in the recording class. And then we got the mixing class where he takes all of the stuff that we recorded and actually mixes it. And then you can get both of them for $149. But you can see the process. This is the song he actually recorded and mixed. Testimonials, all of that stuff like that. It's a really amazing class. And then again, Herb Powers. We got some good stuff, and I got some more stuff coming down the pipeline. And then we got something for everybody. Well, since I'm here, I might as well go ahead and show you guys. I'm on the website. Might as well go and show you. We got, with Yosh, we got the warehouse. We got Yosh Drum Warehouse. So check this out. This is what I used earlier and what I talked about. We got Yosh. We went in the studio. We sat down for a few days, and we actually created the best drum samples on the internet. Is what we did, and you can use these, and we put a lot of work into this, and also production tools. If you guys don't know about it, Loop Elements, boys and girls, Loop Elements. I just released Loop Elements Deluxe. I have a version of Loop Elements for every DAW, just about that will work in every DAW. Actually, we have a version that works for Pro Tools. We got a version that works inside Studio One. Of course, we've got the Logic version of Loop Elements in here, and we've got we got the Pro Tools version. We got all of that, and then last but not least, we got, for those of you who just want to be kind of DAW agnostic and also get some really cool effects, we have Loop Elements Deluxe, which gives you all of the stuff. So if for those of you, just to kind of expose you to Loop Elements really quick, this is what Loop Elements sound like. Loop Elements was actually used on this track. This allows you to get this stuff. If you ever wanted to get those type loops, I can sit and vibe with that all day. That's Loop Elements. So if you want that, it's on the site. We got different versions. We got the Logic version, we got the Pro Tools version, and we got the deluxe version that works in Contact and it'll work in any DAW. So check those things out. This is what the site at. One last thing I'll show you that I had to check that out and see what's going on there. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. The Producer Marketplace, need to figure out what's going on over there. All right, appreciate you guys hanging out with your boy, all of those good things like that. It's been fun. It's been real. And I'll look to talk to you guys on the next one. I'm out.